Hello, beautiful ones out there. My name is Yvonne Wildheart, and happy full moon in Gemini. Here it is rising up into its fullness, and this is a perfect time to do full moon prayers on the expansion of the moon before it hits its peak tomorrow morning here in Eastern Australia. And so here we are, this expansion of Gemini. Gemini is the twins, it's polarities, it's the mind, the mutable mind that can move from one point to another with ease and grace. It's fast moving too, and it's really interesting that this full moon sits on Mars. Mars is in retrograde, which is calling us to review and revise how we think in the world and how we, Mars is the warrior, and how we choose what battles are we going to fight. What are we choosing here? Um, it's really, really interesting. I don't know about you, but in the last, especially in the last couple of weeks, there's something that's come from that last eclipse period in Taurus and Scorpio that has really shown me and those around me this power that we all have to create our own reality, and like really, really see it and feel it and know it's real. That we have been taught not to create our own reality, that we are to remain small and to fix in these boundaries of the patriarchal capitalism society, to be in service to the CEOs, those who are on the top. But that's actually not how it is. We're just being programmed that is. And so, it feels like that Gemini full moon is asking, which are we going to choose? Because Gemini is the polarity. Are we going to choose a reality that is in service to the top-down structures? Or are we going to step out of those boundaries and step into this boundary-lessness of actually we are the creators of our own reality. We are creative beings. That's what humans are. I mean, that's what Earth is. If you just look around you, there is creation and growth and beauty everywhere. This beautiful vine, to the trees, to the soil, to the smell of the, ash after it's burnt from, in your campfire, whatever. So what are we choosing? Where are we choosing to keep our focus? Hi. Um, it's all real. We have this great opportunity to step into our power. In actual fact, we are the grandmothers. We are the prayers of our grandmothers' reality come true. At times when they couldn't choose, it wasn't safe to choose their own reality. They didn't have the tools to do that, and if they did, and if they used it, they would probably be burnt at the stake. It was so dense and repressed. We have this opportunity now to step out and go, okay, so what is it that I'm calling in? What is it that how do I want to be in the world? How do I want to move in the world? How do I want the world to be? I was reminded of the John Lennon song this morning, Imagine, and that just, and I think Amanda Alice, who's a YouTuber from the UK, mentioned that, and just seen it as an anthem of this new prayer of that we're calling in for the collective of just this peace and just love. We can choose that. And it's like, do we choose the love or are we choosing the fear? We have a choice here. And either way, it's going to happen. So if you're in fear, what's going to show up is something for you to fear. If we step into love and, seeing the beauty and the expansion of all things and knowing that we are a powerful creative being, that's what's going to happen, because we are. Either way, we're creating it. So there is a call here, to think about how your thought process are. Gemini is about communication and thought process. It's ruled by Mercury. You know, what are you thinking? How are you speaking? Becoming mindful of that. And this Mars there, the warrior, is sitting on this full moon at the moment, the same point, and it's in retrograde, which is calling us to really come back, you know, in out of the flightiness of Mars and sit with it, to retell our stories, to remember who we are, to revise all that we've been taught. This is the time, this is the moon, you know, and it feels like something coming off the back of this eclipse period that has really shown us something really enormous, and that big shift of grand endings and grand beginnings, which is eclipses. That's what eclipses do. So, you know, what's showing up now? What's your new reality now? And if you're not liking it, well, you have the power to change that and to know that that is, you know, true. You know, it's time to step into self-responsibility of, you know, our future, our children's future, our planet's future, our collective future. You know, we have we are self-responsibility, you know, beings, you know, and it's time to step into that and to know that we are creators. No longer do we have to hand our power over to a top-down structure. That is, you know, that structure is going, and I think by March next year, there's going to be some really big changes that we're going to see. And so this is the time, this feels like the point in between the void space to actually create some really awesome futures for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and for the earth. We are creative beings, we are elders, and it's time to show up as elders of this earth. Here's the time. This is the time. This is the time. It's all real. It's all real. This ability to create is all real. If you sit in your life and you reflect back into, you know, your dreaming of how you wanted to be in the future, you know, have a look around you. See what you've created for yourself. You know, are you living in a home that you thought that you would? You know, do you have the family that you always dreamed of? Do you have your pets around you? You know, do you have your community around you? You know, what is it that you dreamt of many years ago that's showing up now? See that as evidence of your creation ability to create a reality for yourself. So the more of us that have this knowing, this remembering of that we are creative beings, and to be able to go, okay, I'm going to step into eldership here and take full responsibility of my own reality, the better we're going to be off, because we give ourselves the power back. You know, it's safe now to expand into our dreamscape. You know, Neptune going direct, Jupiter going direct in the last couple of weeks in Pisces. Pisces is boundaryless. This feels like a portal of time to be able to have this access to those realms, to be able to bring them back down to this earthly body and what we sit on. Well, there's so much to talk about here that feels like probably the loudest point. And to grieve, oh my God, to grieve the program that we have been taught, to grieve our past selves that didn't think that we could create our own reality, that we felt that we had to abide to some crazy structure or rule that wasn't serving us, you know, that kept us, you know, working beyond the times of our body capacity, that we were so fucking dog tired because we had to earn money or whatever this thing. You know, to grieve those part of ourselves and to just really call bullshit on it, because that actually isn't, you know, we've been taught that. Our parents were taught that. Our grandparents were taught that. You know, follow back thousands of years. That's what patriarchy is. It's a top-down structure of domination that's crumbling. You see it everywhere. The structures of that top-down society is crumbling. So, you know, not to step into fear of that old falling away. You know, Pluto moving out of Capricorn in March, you know, since 2008, it will show us that actually, can we step into empowerment of it to go, I'm a creative being. I can create any reality I want. So what are you choosing? Be very clear. Gemini calls us to be clear-minded. You know, communicate that. Be very aware of your thought processes, because they do come in your reality. Oh, wow, 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, I hope that you got something out of that. I'm feeling very passionate and strong about that at the moment. I'm just seeing evidence of this creation power left, right, and center, and it's because I've called in evidence. You know, so maybe that's what you want to call in is, yes, I call in this, and I see evidence of that surprises and delights me. That's a Dr. Joe quote. You know, and feel that. You know, and to watch it come up, watch it play with you, you know, this reality that you're creating, and something that's very exciting to witness when you call in evidence of it. So to ride off the back of this, all the astrology stuff, there's a lots of things going on. So we are moving into summer solstice here in the southern hemisphere, which is the peak energy. So again, this growing moon and this growing season feels like a portal of time to really go off the back of this earth energy expanding into its peak, and this moon expanding to its peak. So, you know, be very clear on what you're calling in, because they're going to come true, right? In the southern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, they're going into winter solstice, which is the void space. So again, you know, as this moon starts to wane in the next few days, that is also another portal of coming into the dark, the deep, you know, and can you sit in the void? And also we know from myths like Inanna, for example, no, the underworld, the void space, is the point of all creation. And so here is this incredible opportunity to really sit within the power of creation, of something, you know, new in what we're calling in. So as we traverse all these massive energies at the moment, I decided to run a temple of Nuit. Nuit is the Egyptian goddess of the cosmos. She is the portal of life and death and rebirth. She is the stars. And so this temple dedicated to her, which is an astrology study group that starts next week, which is $350, which gives you a 6-month personal hour-and-a-half reading from me, and a beautiful book that we're developing at the moment. Just gives you some basic astrology, and then we're going to move once a month. We're going to look at the astrology, and we're going to study these transitions together. So that's happening, which is very exciting. So that's online. Also, we start a new temple of Inanna, which is starting in January, and some wild magic is happening with these dates. You know, so my co-facilitator, Ali Riverstar, and we had a look at the dates again that we set like a couple of months ago, and we discovered that the gate 7 of the before we moved into the underworld is on the 7th of March, and the next day on the 8th of March, Saturn moves into Pisces, which is bringing structures to the void. You cannot make this up. So Inanna is a 6-month journey that we journey together into the underworld, letting go of all that no longer serves. And week by week, gate by gate, we listen deeply to our soul and our dark goddess selves, and we give up something that we're being called to do. And it could be anything. It could be a habit, or a way of being, or even a physical item. It could be anything, whatever you're called to do. And we journey that journey together in a group, and very, very supportive and very conscious of letting go. And then we come up, we reclaim after sitting in the underworld for 3 weeks. We come back reclaiming ourselves again, asking the question, who are you and why are you here? It's profound, it's deeply transformative, and on top of that, we have a power animal for each journey. So this is will be our 6th journey, and we're journeying with Bunjil, eagle, not just Bunjil, it's actually eagle who flies, is going to take us up through all the realms of the higher thinking and the eagle perspective as we journey these big astrology terrains, which is very friggin' exciting. So you can find details about that on my website at yvonnewoldhart.com.au. Also, I'm doing one-on-one counselling, so on Zoom and also in the forest, which is a holistic counselling technique. I have a background in psychology as well as shamanic journeying with the School of Shamanic Womancraft, and so we journey through both of those realms and using different tools that I've collected on the way. So that is very profound as well and lots of fun. And also the Ecourses, the summer solstice and the winter solstice Ecourses are available on my website. So $30 Australian dollars, and it gives you a beautiful look at what winter solstice and summer solstice, so they're two separate e-courses, and going through, all sorts of rituals and information and the god and goddess archetypes. And, so it feels like that sun god Ra, who we mentioned in the summer solstice e-course, is calling for us to really honor at this point, because the sun is doing some amazing things. I think that is it. Yeah. Dream big. Really dream big. Dream in a good life that you are thriving, and that your children are thriving, and that the earth is thriving, and that your community is thriving in bliss and abundance and joy. And ask for evidence of that. Evidence in the everyday. Evidence, that is so amazing, that surprises and delights you. This is the time. This is the time. It feels like now or never. Now's the time to step into and jumping in a whole new timeline. Off we go. We're off. It's very exciting times. Stay in the heart, eagle eye perspective, and don't worry about the falling structures. They're not of service anyway anymore, because we know that we are creative beings and we can create anything we damn well want. And may it be love. May it be love. From my heart to your hearts. Happy Gemini Full Moon.